first bullet, talk about good timing, identify newly diagnosed patient potential to increase market share. I would say that no shortage of 50% of the conversations we have today are around two of the same topics. One is, please help me better understand the current patient population from a persona perspective. Who are they? What do they look like? What are their triggers, clinical conditions, etc.? Give me that scorecard. But secondarily, right behind that is, can you find more patients like this for me that are not diagnosed, that are sitting in these similar patient persona segments? Short answer is yes. We do that. Like anything else, I think when we bump into the ultra rare disease space, like everybody else, the data thins out, becomes I think from a soundness of the model, I think our data scientists would say that the R values are strong. Therefore, strong in the sense of predicting what that patient population could look like, where they're at. But nonetheless, we always go full disclosure. But we haven't had any issues thus far in helping clients identify the undiagnosed or the propensity of the undiagnosed population. We also drive understanding conditions around noncompliance. Noncompliance is a big issue. In some cases, just a couple percentage points of compliance, adherence, and compliance can mean a significant bump in a budget forecast for a client. Naturally, go behind the scenes in terms of operational understanding, segmentation of targets, HCPs, institutions, geographies, and expanding on that is valuable. The key pattern of understanding the behaviors of the smaller risk-based personas, we're truly in, for lack of a better word, a micro-targeting environment. The data allows for that. I often advise clients that don't try to solve for the whole, non-small cell lung cancer population, for example. It's not that complicated. You want to look at a subset of that and what the data allows us to look at, and then drive behaviors and attributes from that. You'll find that a good 20% of the population will drive, in fact, 80% of the behavior and attributes of the other 80%. So that becomes very interesting, and it's truly data-driven. It's not qualitative, but the qualitative component can come from the internal client's knowledge, feet on the street, obviously market research. Managed market strategy or strategic initiatives. 50% of our conversations today around outcomes and risks, and helping identify who that patient population is, coming to an agreement between the two organizations, between the payer and our clients, the life sciences clients, and then, of course, aligning to some type of risk or outcome that makes sense and is meaningful in that next 12-month window, realistic. We've had too many conversations with clients that have gone, they shot the moon, if you will. They took up the driver and they've tried to drive that green every single time, and they've ended up in the water. And both sides are, it's a failure on both sides. But we've been brought in to sort of help and fix and clean that up. It's a long process. It's the reality of it. And then, technologically speaking, clients take and ingest this information in different ways. In some client cases, which is pushing data back and forth under the covers, behind the scenes, in a secure manner, of course, and that then flows into their systems internally. In other ways, some of these insights are being pushed through the Viva channels, or the Viva pipes, I should say, the suggestions engine, or the Viva My Insights down to the field level. Naturally, all of that is as applicable, as needed, as approved by regulatory compliance. Again, if it's just scorecard-based information, it helps aid in that conversation with that institution and or with that provider. So just a couple of ideas and tactical applications. As you can imagine, there's a lot more. We like to try to bucket these. And then just thinking out loud, common use cases, obviously multi-channel marketing, sort of the digital experience today, what digital channels work best, and how can I be ensured that is driving adherence, compliance, and identification of those patients through my digital channels. Patient segments by CVSA, that's an easy sales tactic. I'd like to say we've been doing this for years, not to this degree of certainty and or complexity, but that will never go away. That's the reality of it. But it helps aid in that conversation with the HCP or institution when you have something new and insightful around the patient to share. Contracting around managed market strategy. Again, it puts the alignment of our clients in life sciences, the strategist on the managed market side, and that payer, that Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee or Michigan, the agreement and alignment on who is the most at-risk population, where are they, where are more like them potentially, how do we address that situation, and how do we measure it? And it's really that simple. It's complicated, but it is that simple when you look at it on the first year. And then, of course, CRM suggestions. Again, what type of information can be disseminated to the field that could provide a value add at that HCP and or institutional level, and also beyond that sort of IDN strategy thought process. How do you paint that picture for market expansion to that IDN at the highest level, so that they understand that, for lack of a better word, what care pathways are driving up or down care costs, and how does that play into the promotion of that particular drug by that manufacturer? Does it contribute? Does it contribute a high, medium, or low? What do the dollars look like? What does the patient look like? How can the provider ultimately drive better care and understanding, and having this information at his or her fingertips that then, in fact, drive up ratings, your STAR, your HEDIS ratings. And that's important. We have some metric as well that we've created for clients that correlate provider rankings and metrics, and institution ranking and metrics, and patient care. It's very interesting when you look at that. There's sometimes an inverse relationship between the two, and requires deeper dive insights. But that's valuable in today's universe, and it sort of is on everybody's frontal lobe.